you know, I kind of just, I mean, if we, I couldn't have done this last week, Monday or Tuesday, but I've worked my way through it.
What
Uh,
happened?
I've been planning on going home for Thanksgiving. Like,
Yeah.
I got an Airbnb for like a week and a half. We were heading up. My birthday is the day before Thanksgiving this year, so we were looking at places back home. Like Adam and I were looking for like what's like a really, really fucking top-notch restaurant we can go to. Like I was planning on everything. We were thinking
Yeah.
about going to, you know, Milwaukee. We were thinking about going to a Bucks game to go see Giannis dunk on some fools.
Yeah.
And my sister usually hosts. She lives about 2 hours west of Milwaukee, so we're all, we
You
drive
like
down.
in Waukesha?
That's not 2 hours.
What, Madison's 2 hours?
And
Like,
maybe it's further. I don't know. She lives down near the Illinois border. Um, so her
like,
husband,
like Janesville?
like Beloit area.
Okay, Beloit. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
Beloit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
everybody knows Beloit.
Well,
It's the Tuscaloosa, Wisconsin.
I don't know. Like all my extended family lives in Waukesha. They all live out there.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah.
no. Watch out. If for those of you who aren't
Yeah, that's just like a
familiar with,
suburb.
yeah, for those of you
Yeah.
who aren't familiar with Milwaukee, which I assume is most of our listeners.
It's like 25 minutes out. Like
Well,
it's a
it's
ways.
like the city of Milwaukee is like your blue, your Democrat, like that's it, and then almost like every white person has left Milwaukee except for like maybe like a small handful, and then like the
Well,
suburbs,
there's probably some people in River West still.
right? The suburbs are kind of a hit or miss with that, but Waukesha is like 100% Trump country. Like some of
Yeah,
those,
that's what they
yeah,
are. Like
some of
they're
those,
gross. Like I don't talk to them. They disgust me.
yeah,
Like
some of those
yeah.
suburbs are like 100%. Like you could just drop them in your dankest parts of the South, and they'd be right at home.
I know it's gross. It's like I
Yeah,
have like a cousin that's out there and she's just like she's ridiculous.
yeah.
She's just an insane
And we haven't even
batshit
gone
Trumper and like it's like
to the
she's
North Woods area. I mean,
right.
yeah.
I know.
So my sister, I said, hey, we're gonna be coming out for Thanksgiving, and that was it. Made my reservations at an Airbnb, and then my sister messaged me Monday morning. She's like, just so you know, we're going to brother's house. I got two brothers. I'm the oldest, but the older of the two brothers. He's hosting. And I'm like, oh, does he know I'm coming? And she says, I don't think so. So I text him. I'm like, hey, just so you know, we're coming down. We're coming up for Thanksgiving. Excited to see everyone. And he's like, oh, do you have a time when I can call you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I have time at lunch or after work. So he calls me at lunch and he's like, how are things going? And I kind of give him an update on work. I'm just getting promoted, which is already like a stress that I'm putting on myself.
Yeah.
And he just goes, yeah, you're not welcome in my house for Thanksgiving. And then,
Yeah.
and
What
then
the fuck?
just left.
Has he
I
always
left
been
the,
like this?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since I went home for Thanksgiving in 2018. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and my sister hosted, and we didn't talk about it. He's got three kids. The two youngest girls. We had a great time. They loved hanging out with me. Uh, and I kind of left a pause there, and he didn't say anything else. Like I've never banned anyone from my house, so I don't know what the etiquette is, but I assume I would just tell them why they're not welcome to my house. He didn't say anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, this
Yeah,
dude's not gonna follow etiquette,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
This dude's just a
obviously,
piece of shit. Like, yeah,
yeah. But it gets
what the
worse. So
fuck?
so I just said, okay, hung up, emailed my other brother, my sister, my mom said, hey, we're not coming up for Thanksgiving. Um, and my youngest brother, fucking mad as hell. Like just like I thought everyone was all over this bullshit. I'm sorry. He's not. He's got a girlfriend that's kind of serious. They're going to her house, her family's for Thanksgiving, so he wasn't going to be there. My mom emails me back that night, and she's just like, "Well, I sure hope you two can work it out."
Yeah, like that typical boomer, like, oh,
Yeah.
good,
Oh,
both sides.
no,
Like,
both sides.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, oh, well, sorry. Like, I wish, I love all my children equally, kind of thing. Like, it's
yeah,
like my parents do that. It's not even close, though. This is not
right.
even close. Like,
Yeah,
cause like the thing with my sister is so like it is not even close to this. Like, my sister's not that bad. Like,
yeah,
she wouldn't ban me. I would be invited because like She's like, she's Christian, but she's all about forgiveness. So like it's
Oh,
more like condescending. Like she would have me, but she would be forgiving me. She would be like, that's her being pious,
she
is
hates
like
the
allowing
sin.
me into her house. Yeah.
She hates the
Like,
sin, but not the sinner.
right. That's what it is. Like, yeah, that's exactly fucking right.
Oh,
And it's just like, and so it would be, she would have me there, but it would be like she'd be taking the high road, and she'd be like lowering her hand to me down,
yeah,
like to like, oh, we'll invite you and we'll show you the light. And then like it would be a fucking sermon the whole fucking time.
right.
Like, and
So
that's what yeah.
yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
no,
Yeah.
it's okay. So my mom, she's like, I hope you guys work it out, and I was like, well, if you and my sister want to make alternate plans, I'll still come up. I hadn't canceled anything yet. I'm like, I'd still come up. I'd love to see you all for Thanksgiving. And she goes, I'll be at your brother's house.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And
Like it's like okay, like that. I mean, I don't understand that.
I don't
Like I
get
don't
it either.
understand that either. It's like some dude made a fucking, like he made just a fucking bigoted transphobic like just ultimatum,
And mom's
and
like,
then and your mom's just like, yeah, we're still gonna do that
yeah,
thing. You like, and it's just like, so like he like the etiquette with ultimatums is like, if you're faced with an ultimatum,
yeah,
unless it's a cut and dry moral issue, whoever makes the ultimatum is the one that gets asked out. That's how it's
yeah,
supposed to work. Like it's like if I said it's you or me, and like there I was clearly in the wrong,
yeah,
like it's like, well then it's, or you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you have to choose. Whoever's like, you have to choose between them or me, and it's like,
You
well,
always choose them. You
you know,
always choose
yeah,
them.
it's like, well, then all right, then I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna
with
choose
them
them.
because like you did this. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's how that's supposed to work. But like, I mean,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know your parents, and I
No,
don't know
it's all
your
right. So I tell my
well, your brother
mom,
sounds like a fucking steaming piece of shit though. Like,
well, I mean, I no, I don't. Anyway, I messaged my mom. I'm like, well, if y'all want to go to his house for Thanksgiving, I don't have control over what you do, but I've got plenty of family and friends down here that will have me for Thanksgiving and would love to see me. And she replies, sorry you feel that way. And I'm like, what do you mean you're sorry that I have a place to go? Like, what do you want me to do? Like cry in the corner or just like
well, I mean,
stand
like,
against the,
did you? I'm not trying to like
yeah,
advise you on how to deal with this, but like, I mean, did you be like, hey, look, like, did you explain to her fully the situation? Because maybe she didn't comprehend it. Because parents will do that too. So, like, were you like, hey, look, I had plans to come out. I made reservations. I bought tickets. I like,
yeah,
it's my birthday. I did all this stuff, and your son just said like, I'm not allowed in his house. Like,
yeah,
are you going to do that to me? Are you going to
yeah,
make me cancel all my stuff? Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to let me come and visit?
yeah,
And that's the position that you have to put her in,
yeah.
is like, no, you have to make her make the call
Mm,
to like, because she might not be fully aware of the impact. Like, and it's like, look, like, I want to go, but he won't let me because he's a piece of shit. Like,
yeah.
and like,
No,
so
I
like,
mean, honestly, like I told her when I was up in March that I'm coming down. I want to come down for Thanksgiving. I want to be up more regularly because, before when I was my past life, like that's not something I could afford to do. And now I'm in a
right.
place where I can afford to travel. I can afford to go home. And yeah, she just several times she's like, I hope you guys can work it out. Now here's the thing.
Right. That's
Here's
like the most
here,
cowardly, like, just like,
yeah.
oh,
Well,
sorry.
good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
Sorry.
the
It's like, I don't
here's
want
the kicker.
confrontation.
Here's the
Like, yeah.
kicker. When her mother died, her twin brother and her sister sued her for part of the estate
Uh-huh.
and
Fuck.
totally blew up the family. And she compared this situation to that. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, wait, is my brother you, like the aggrieved wrong party, and I'm the people who sued you for your mom's inheritance? It was just like so mind blowing. And then the ultimate kicker is it's been a week now.
Well, what did she say?
I didn't say that to her. I just let her be
No,
what.
you should have.
No, no,
I'm
no.
sorry. I can't tell you how to do.
I've already made decisions here. But
Yeah, I know.
but it's been over a week. My sister has never gotten back in touch with me.
I understand
I don't
this. This is
understand this.
horrible.
So, you know, I think and I want to talk about this because the last couple of weeks we've had things where it's like, how do you deal with family? How do you deal with friends leaving you? And I always say like you can always, and it seems very easy when I say it. And
Yeah, it's easy to say.
I
It's
always
fucking hard to
say
deal with.
it's easy to say, and I had Monday after work. I mean, I was a wreck Monday. I was a wreck
Of
Tuesday.
course you were.
Of course I was,
Of
but
course you
I
were.
just had to make the decision about what I was going to do. And I basically decided that my youngest brother has been super supportive and has always had my back. And I basically texted him. I'm like, hey, haven't heard back from my sister. No one has said anything to me since we talked on Monday. I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'm blocking everyone off. And the thing is, I've done this before in my life with people, and it really is a thing because we always talk about like, if I have this person who's toxic, it's like you just need to you're allowed to remove toxic people from your life. And my boyfriend's family in Raleigh, they have, you know, grandma, my boyfriend's mom, her brother and sister, their kids. They all love having me down there. That's where I'm getting
Yeah.
my gender confirmation surgery. So every time we go down there, we stay at his aunt and uncle's house. And I'm like, I can just do this. And so
Right.
you
And that's
have
the thing is
people
like
who
you have
love you.
options.
Yeah,
But so I'm gonna just like say something
you say it.
here's what I would suggest because
Mhm,
like I think and like far be it for me to like tell you what to do or tell you how to live your life or like
mhm,
but what I would suggest in this particular scenario is I think your brother should be asked the fuck out. He's fucking
yeah,
you should he's like, however, your mom and your sister, you should give one more chance and you should make it absolutely clear what the deal is, what the scope of the decision that they're making is. It's like, look, here's what's happening.
yeah,
This is how it is. Like, you are literally in a position to choose between him or me. Now, that doesn't mean they can't see him, and that doesn't mean they can't have a relationship with them. But what that does mean is like, when it comes to shit like this, if you side with him,
yeah,
then you can't be a part of my life either.
yeah.
Like you have to understand that. You have to make that clear to them. Like, cause
Well,
they don't see it like that. I guarantee you they're just not, they're just like, oh, this sucks. Like, I wish we didn't have to deal with it. And they're not thinking about like the depths of like the implications of what this means. So
yeah.
like just cutting them off because they didn't get back to you, like that's to me,
Well,
that's like
here's what I'm going to do.
that's a little extreme. Like I just
When they get back to me, then we can have that conversation. But
okay.
they've made their feelings known. I'm like, when they reach back to me, we can have that conversation. But I'm not gonna reach back to them and be like, so what's going? I'm just like, fine. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Well, like they didn't get back to you in the sense that like you're like, hey, what's up? Like get back to me, and then they just didn't, or like is it like it's just they just y'all just didn't have another talk after that? Like I mean, I don't know how did it end? Like
Well, like I texted my sister and be like, hey, apparently we're not coming to Thanksgiving, and she has never replied to that. And then
I
my
mean,
mom
you're not
has,
coming to Thanksgiving because he didn't allow you. Is it
I
like
mean,
did you
I think everyone knows that. I
see
mean,
that's the problem
no,
is you're not making that clear. Like in
no,
that, and
no.
I'm
That's
sorry.
been a week. It's been a week. She could have said something. Because the last time I texted her, I said I already have a reservation. And to
Yeah,
go
but
from like
like,
within,
do they
within
know?
2 hours, for 2 hours she'll go, we're going to Greg's, and I'm like, I'm gonna call Greg, and then I'm like, I guess we're not coming to Thanksgiving, and her not to say anything to that.
But you didn't.
She
Okay,
knows.
but they don't know the details. That's what I'm saying. The reason you're not coming to Thanksgiving is Greg
No,
said you're not
just
allowed.
my sister doesn't know that because
But
I
she
assume
needs to know that.
no.
They all need to know that what he
All right,
did.
yeah,
Like they need to know that he made that call. Like you, because if you just say
yeah.
I'm not coming to Thanksgiving, then that's ambiguous, and that could be like you two had a tiff and you didn't agree on something, and it could be anything. Like and that's and I'm sorry. Like I say, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You're an adult, and this is your situation. But like it's like this onus like it, and
Yeah.
it sucks that like it is there, but like the onus is kind of on you to make it at least like you have to make it like evident what's going on because if they aren't 100% certain of what the situation is, then it's real easy for them to be like oh like like Lilith and whatever your brother's name are just like they had a fight and like they'll work it out and like we'll like or if they don't know that he strictly forbade you from being in his house, that they might just think like you're being just fickle because he said something that you didn't like or whatever it is, like, because to them that's not important, but like
Yeah.
it's like you know what I'm saying.
I
But
mean,
like
I hear you.
they have to understand that like he straight up said
Yeah.
that you're not allowed over, like, and that, so if you did fly out you would have
Yeah.
nothing to do for Thanksgiving because you couldn't go to his house because he won't let you in it,
I
like,
would
and they need
say,
to know that.
I would say,
Like,
I would say that after a week, my mom and my sister talk at least every other day, if not every day. There's no way she doesn't know by now. But also, and this is just my philosophy, is I'm not going to waste brain space on that.
you know,
No,
that's fair too.
yeah. I mean,
Like
I'm just
that's
not.
fair
And
too, and that's the call we all have to make. And fuck,
I am
that sucks
literally,
so bad.
like I mentioned earlier, I'm literally, my promotion starts tomorrow, and I'm already like a ball of nerves about it. I have all these doubts about myself that we all have
Yeah,
when we take
fuck.
on a new
Of
problem.
course, yeah.
And I'm just
No, I
like,
start a new
I,
job next week, and
yeah,
I'm like,
I
I have
don't.
like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like, yeah, I'm so not ready for
And
it.
I'm just like,
Like, yeah,
the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm gonna be a complete stressed out mess because I'm
of course you are. Yeah.
learning as I'm doing it, and I just don't need this. And honestly, like I said, we went. Here's I have another kicker. How many more kickers do I have to this? Last year, we went to Adam's family's uh, house, and his aunt is like, by the way, my dad is going to be there from Kentucky, and his wife got him all into OAN, Fox News, and just like, please, don't, like I don't want to. I'm not trying to, but please just don't let there be anything. And I was like, as long as he doesn't say anything to me about it, I'm fine. And then after we get back after Thanksgiving, she texts us and is just like, my dad loved you and was just like asking me all kinds of questions about, you, and was just like was just wishes that you could have everything you wanted. And I was just like, fuck, this dude, all he does
That's
is get like
great.
a steady diet of trash about trans people, and then meets me and is just like, I,
Because that's what it takes, like a
yeah,
lot of times is like they don't know anybody or they don't think they do, and they listen to this fucking garbage and this
yeah,
racist fucking bigoted nonsense and this propaganda, and they just get painted a picture. It's like that thing, it's like that meme of like the Trumpers setting up the cardboard monsters in their little fort
yeah.
and then cowering in the corner, because that's what they do. They invent things to be afraid of because they're afraid of things that are
When
different. Like,
what you're talking about is the genital surgery they do on 4-year-olds now. Is that what you're talking about? Right?
I don't even know what you're talking
Like
about. Like,
no, if a 4-year-old boy picks up a doll, their parents immediately force them to transition, and they go to a hospital and they have genital surgery. Well, you
yeah,
know
no,
how
that's
about this?
insane.
No,
I didn't know they were
Tucker
saying
Carlson has
that
got
shit. Like,
three hospitals have been almost had to shut down and like cease working because they go on Fox News and they basically tell them like these places are doing gender surgery on kids, and they just get flooded with harassment. There was one in Boston. I think the latest one was in Nashville, and they're just
yeah,
like,
of
and here's what
course.
I
Like,
understand is like there's freedom of speech, obviously, but you also can't yell fire in a
no, I
crowded
mean
so
they've
how
violated so many.
how can
They're
there be
like
nothing
Fox
about this?
News is like not does not fall under the blanket
It's
of
like
it's hate speech.
there's
It's
no way
terrorism. They're
it's like
terrorists. Like
in Idaho,
that's not freedom of speech. That's inciting
that's
hate
inciting
crimes and
hatred.
inciting riots. Like like they should. No, they should be shut
Or like,
down, and they should absolutely go to prison. Like
yeah,
all of them should be shipped to Guantanamo. Like
yeah.
fuck them
Well, in
all.
Idaho,
Like,
like they
yeah,
had a doctor, they had a
but
priest or a
liberals are
preacher.
cowards and
Yeah,
they will never do anything. They'll just let them run
well,
amok until they take over, because that's how fascism works. And
yeah,
fascism can't exist without a weak opposition.
yeah.
And like the Democratic Party is
Oh, they've
is
perfected it. They've
they are
perfected it.
the the culmination of all of history into the ultimate form of
Oh my God.
weakness.
Whatever
Like,
comes next,
like
whatever comes next, I just hope I live through it so I can make sure that Nancy Pelosi gets blasted in history as much as she deserves to be.
Oh, she will be. She's not. No one's gonna remember her fondly.
No one's
She's
gonna
just
remember.
like no.
But no one's gonna remember her.
Like,
Who remembers people?
probably not. Like,
Who
she's a
remembers
pretty
German opposition?
inconsequential.
And who remembers?
Right. No one. Like, no
But
one.
so
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is like this guy in Idaho, this priest who was just like, we should kill LGBTQ people. And there's a guy in Mississippi who's like, we should kill trans people. And they're just like, well, that's not against the law. And it's like,
okay, but what it is it is against their tax break. And you can take, if you find those churches and you find a pastor that's doing that shit, that is legal grounds to revoke their tax exempt status by the IRS. And there's a form that you can report them to, and they'll just lose their tax exempt status, which is all they live for. Yeah. They're there for making money. They don't give a shit. They're not religious. Like, they're money making schemes. Like, so you take their tax exempt status away, and like it's real easy. Like, it's real easy. It's like a click. You go straight to the form. It's a 5-question form, and you report them. And then the IRS investigates them, and they take their tax exempt status away. Like,
we should put that link in the in the
I will put that link. I'll put that link down below. Absolutely. Yeah. That link is right here.
Do you need evidence though? Like, do you need a recording?
No, like, you just need to report them, and they do the investigation.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. But the IRS does they find you just they look into it.
Yeah.
Like,
but I've
heard of like 3 churches that lost their tax exempt status because people reported them for this shit. Because it's terrorism. It's terrorism.
Universities with $1 billion endowments and churches should not be tax exempt. I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
like yeah. I don't. No private entity should be tax exempt. Like.
Right.
No profit-driven entity should be tax exempt.
No,
like, that's insane.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I think I saw something where like
we subsidize oil companies still. Like, it's insane. Like, it's nonsense. Like, the country's fucked up. It's beyond fucked up. But that aside, like, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, I'm so fucking sorry that you have to deal with this. And it's like, but like, this is super important. I'm glad you brought it up. Because,
I really did want to talk about it, because
like, this is the thing that even like what all we've been talking about these last like 4 episodes, and it's like, here we are, like, and this is just episode 5. We just started this thing.
Yeah.
And already, like, here's like 2 people that like kind of have their shit figured out, kind of, and like, here it is.
There it is. The universe gave me something I needed, and that was, a little controversial. But I think the main reason I wanted to bring it up is because, as a life coach, I always talk to people about, controlling what you can control and doing and it, like I said, when I say it, I know it sounds easy, and I want you to know that it's not easy. And
there's nothing easy about it.
I mean, I had a meeting with my boss at 4:00 on Monday, and we met, and I'd asked people to take. I had 2 meetings afternoon. I asked people to take. She's like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having some personal things." And we have our meeting, and I didn't tell her what it was, and she was just like, "You know what? I just want you to promise me that you're going to walk away from your computer and not come back until tomorrow." And just like, my boss, both my boss, and the next morning, I kind of typed my immediate supervisor and then my new supervisor what was going on, and they were both supportive, and that's what's cool. That's what's amazing, and
you're lucky. You're lucky you've got that. Like, a lot of people
work at Walmart, and
right. A lot of people work at a place where like they say that, and they're like, "Well, fuck you, get back to work." Like, it's like, that's no excuse. You shouldn't be wrong. Like, it's like. Like, I mean, or like, yeah, we didn't know, you're fired.
Potato chips aren't going to stock themselves. You need to get out there.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, and that's the wild thing, is like, loaded with privilege as you and I are, like, even still, like, we can't get past that. So like, I think about like, I mean, all the people I've met that are like less fortunate than me, like in groups and stuff, and just like just on the internet, and like I hear the fucking stories, or live in countries that are worse than here, because there are countries that are worse than you. In fact, most countries are probably worse. Most are worse, which is insane, because the United States is really fucking shitty. Like, but there are a lot, like most countries are actually worse, and like you get into Eastern Europe and like parts of the Middle East and Asia, and like fuck.
Yeah.
Like Russia, forget
No,
it.
forget it.
Yeah, anything Eastern Bloc is just fucking terrible. Like Poland's awful right now. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and like I mean, it's not as bad like in Western Europe, which is
Yeah.
like most of Western Europe's actually pretty cool, and like Scandinavia. But like I mean, the UK is fucking terrible.
But
Like
also, all those countries have
South
growing.
America,
They
like
all
it's like
have they all
fuck.
have growing right wing, insurgencies growing.
So does the whole world. The
Yeah,
whole
but like
world
I'm
has
saying,
that
all these
right
places
now.
that you're saying is safe. It's just like, well, it's coming,
Yeah, till
and
it's not. Yeah,
it's coming, and no one's really doing anything about it. Um, and in fact, you have people like TERFs who are helping it come about, and I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what an anti-trans lesbian thought process is when they're going to work with right wingers, extreme right wingers against trans people. Like, and
it's a
eventually they'll get.
powerful thing. It's a
But
powerful
what do you
thing.
think is going to happen? Like, you're next.
Well, they're not thinking.
Well,
They're. That's the problem. That's the thing with bigotry. Is it's like we've said this before. Like the prerequisite is stupidity. Like it's like you can't be smart and be a bigot. Like they don't work. Like because the cure for bigotry is thinking about it for 5 seconds. And
oh
if you think
yeah,
about it for 5 seconds, your bigotry's gone. Like all you have to do, like that guy, like
yeah,
the grandpa, it's like all it took was he had to see someone and meet someone and say, hey, that's not right. And he thought
not
about
right.
it for 5 seconds and he was watching OAN and Fox News and he was into it and he bought into it. And all it took was for him to think about it for 5 seconds. It's like, no, she's great. I love her. She's wonderful.
All it
Because
took,
that's how it is. That's all
yeah,
it takes is thinking about it for 5 seconds.
just
And
had
like,
to watch
especially from
me.
like the conservative point of view, it's like it all, or it takes them experiencing something firsthand. Like they can't hear about it because they don't believe anything until they see it themselves. Or I mean, they believe all the propaganda, but I mean, they don't like. It's weird. I don't understand it.
Well, it's the old thing is like the only way to get a Republican to vote for gay rights is to make them have a gay kid, and they're
Yeah,
just like,
and even
oh,
then, they sometimes don't do it.
oh,
Like,
the one dude who like went to his kid's wedding earlier this year and then voted against, codifying same-sex marriage. Yeah, it's
yeah.
bizarre, and
Well, I mean, there was like, I mean, even like there was like that thing that happened. I think it was like 2017. It was like either right before or right after Trump became president, and like there was like some Republican congressional softball game, like
yeah,
in North Carolina or something, and
yeah.
like it got shot up,
That was in
and a
DC.
couple
Yeah,
or DC, and they got like a couple senators got shot. I don't think anyone died, or maybe representatives, but like
yeah.
some people Republicans got shot by a gunman and they still voted to not do any gun
Well,
legislation. I mean, they got fucking riddled with bullets,
but I
and that wasn't
remember.
enough for them to turn off the faucet of their bribe money. Like it's like, well,
I remember that story, and here was the takeaway from the Republican. The takeaway from the Republican was making sure that knowing the shooter had democratic beliefs,
right?
and
Yeah,
that
there was a Bernie Sanders
Democrats
follower or
are
something.
inherently violent, and
Right,
that
that's
was
what it
the
is.
takeaway.
Yeah.
But the other thing
Yeah.
you mentioned about a little back there about like privilege, and that's one thing I think about a lot with me because I didn't transition until I was in my late 40s, and as often as I wish, man, it would have been great to do this when I was 18. Like I
Yeah.
was in a place in my life where I had a place to live. Uh,
Maybe. I mean, you don't know. You don't
but
know
you
what
don't
it would have
know.
been.
But that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the
For me,
thing.
it's like I had a place to live, I had a job, and I was able to make decisions to get me the job I currently have. And you have to always be aware of your situation when you make these decisions. If you feel like if you're 17, if you're 15, and you think if I come out to my parents, they're going to kick me out of the house, and you
Yeah.
decide not to come out because of that, that's fine. You have to make the best decisions
It's
for
fine
you
no
in the moment.
matter what. Like,
Well,
yeah,
no, it's fine no matter
like,
no matter
right.
what reason you don't come out. But don't feel that like if you don't come out, you're less valid. It's like every person's situation is
No.
different.
Yeah,
Everyone has to
everything.
take their situation into account, and you have to do what's safest and best for you. So I was able to make these decisions because of where
What
I am
you're
in my life.
capable of. Like, I mean, you
Yeah,
have to be ready. That's how
yeah,
it works. You have to be ready. Like, and no one can force it. No one can talk you into it.
yeah.
Like, no one, like, You have to be ready, and
I guess
and that's
ti-
different for everyone
tied to
because it
that
is
is
situational. It's completely 100% situational.
if you're 15 and you don't come out because you don't feel safe or your parents will kick you out, just realize that when you're 18 or 19 or whenever you're able to get out of the house, you'll be able to start then, and that's just as valid. And you'll have that. And take it from someone who waited till they were 47.
Yeah, I
Waiting till
was
you're 19,
41.
20
Yeah.
is not the end of the world. And again,
And
I wish the
everyone
world was so
regrets
open and
it too.
accepting.
Like
Yeah.
everyone wishes they'd transition
Oh
younger.
man,
Everyone does.
I
Like
you know
everyone wishes they'd transition before puberty.
I was so
Everyone
short.
does.
I was so short before
Like,
puberty. Like I wish I could take a puberty blockers, and right now I'd be
of
like five,
course you
6.
do. Of course we all
We
do.
all do.
Like, I
But
mean, Jesus, I
you
wish
have
I'd
to
never
deal
had to
with your
go through that
situation.
shit. Yeah, but
Well,
like you can't do that. You
yeah,
can't
you
sit
can't.
and like, oh, woulda,
Right.
shoulda, coulda. Like it's like because you don't know. And there's the reasons you and I didn't come out when we were younger are valid as anyone's reasons for not coming out. It's like it was dangerous. You can say, oh, if only I'd have done this, if only I'd have done
Yeah.
come out when I was like 20 or like 16 and I could have done it then. It's like I was 16 in like 1990, like in Milwaukee. Like it's like it was not progressive there. Like
Mm-hmm.
people weren't nice to gay people in Milwaukee in 1990. Like it just wasn't. It was violent there. Like it was violent just anyway. Like it was the early 90s were fucking a violent time. Like the Bush years, the first Bush years, they were fucking like, I mean, I remember like you would get in trouble if you were in the wrong neighborhood wearing the wrong colors. Like you could catch a fucking bullet for that shit back then. Like, and it's like, and like we had to be conscious of like what color clothes we were wearing depending on what part of the town we were in. Like it was insane. Gang shit was off the chain. And like if you think like the fucking gangs were trans friendly, like they weren't.
Yeah, they
Like
probably could have made a lot
like,
of money. Like just like we're a trans friendly gang. If you wanna,
yeah, like come join our gang.
Come join our gang.
The violent. We could use that
violent.
We could use the violent left. Oh, the violent femmes.
For all you youngins out there, that is a alt rock group from Milwaukee. One of like the really originators of alt rock. You probably heard.
Really, yeah, they were at the. They were kind of the vanguard of alternative. Really,
yeah.
Like them, and They Might Be Giants.
I'd say every trans person from Milwaukee probably owes something in the back of their brain to the violent femmes.
Yeah, or every violent woman.
But I think the main takeaway.
Lorena Bobbitt was all about it.
She was all about it. Fucking.
What is it? Who is it? Like who is the Nancy Kerrigan?
Nancy. Oh no, that's Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding.
Yeah. I was thinking who was
Nancy Kerrigan the one that she took out?
Yeah.
Like,
who was the girl
I get
who
mixed up.
Who
her story's wild too. It's wild. Like I don't know. We won't go into that.
We won't go into that. That has nothing to do with us.
But what were we talking about?
I think the main takeaway, the main thing I want to take away is that a couple things that came from this conversation. One, you have to do what's best for you in the moment, and even though that might not be what's right for you, you have to judge what you're comfortable doing and what's going to be safest for you. And that when you're ready, you can make it happen. And that's fine. And like, I know it sucks. I know it would suck to be like 17 and know I'm trans and have trans friends, but like you're worried about your family situation. If you feel like, you can handle coming out, whatever falls out, you can do that. If you don't feel you can handle that or it's not safe for you, then that's also okay. Do not judge yourself for doing what's safest for you. And two, you don't have to keep toxic people in your life.
Well, that's questionable because
I'm talking
when
about
you're that's not true when you're 16. Like 15. You do actually.
When you do leave, when you do feel it's time for you, you don't have to keep your parents in your life.
That's arguable too. I mean, it's situational. It's situational. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to fucking eat food. You can fast and die. Like, I mean, you don't have to do anything.
Just to make it sound weird. The point is
my point is like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, I mean, but it's it's more nuanced than that is what I'm saying. It's like
It
the
is,
first part, the first part is absolutely right. Like when you're not ready, you're not ready. Like and that's nothing can make you be ready except you, and you have to know it. And like it's a real hard decision to make because it's so situational and it's so unique to you. Like
yeah,
everyone's situation is completely different. No one else there is no roadmap for this because there can't be because there no one's walking the same path. Like everyone's situation is different and like it's absolutely 100% unique to you. Like it's like a Minecraft map. It's fucking random generated. Like it's
right.
just like it's whatever it is. Like it's like you get what you get and like but the bottom line is no one gets it easy. Like,
Right.
and even the people that have it the easiest, like people like I considered, like, I mean, you and I, if just for, if for no other reason that we're Gen Xers that don't give a fuck, that gives us an edge. Like,
Yeah.
it really does. Like, and say what you want about, like, I mean, some older I mean, fucking DeSantis is a Gen Xer. Jesus Christ, he's gross. But I mean, like, there's shitty Gen Xers for sure, and like, and it's less a generational thing than it's a getting older thing. Like,
Yeah.
but really, like as a general rule, like the thing that Gen X both we had going for us, but also like fucked us over at the same time was the fact that we just don't fucking give a fuck and we didn't buy into shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that saved us a lot of problems. Like the millennials paid for that shit. They paid for giving a shit. Like they paid dearly. And like, and like we were just like, nah, fuck it, we're not doing that. We don't want to play. And like, but the result of that was we also got ignored completely.
You get ignored completely.
Like, which isn't the worst thing.
Well, I mean, when you're coming home from school and no one's home and you're letting yourself in, you're cooking yourself dinner and your parents come home eventually. I mean, I think the thing with like those guys who like the Gen Xers who are awful politicians now, I mean, I think it springs from the same thing of not having, not having that structure there. And like some of us didn't have that structure there and we made our own structures and we made our own places. And you'll find like some Gen Xers are just like all about like found friendships, found family, community. And some are just like, there's no structure. So I'm going to I'm going to do whatever I want for myself. And if I got, Ron DeSantis, for example, someone who's just going to make other people miserable for his own gain.
Like he's a pure opportunist. Like that's all.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say that.
If he could become president by telling people that Catholics were X, X, and X, he'd start a big war on Catholics if that.
Oh, he sure would. Yeah, no, he would. Yeah, it wouldn't matter. Whatever he wants. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever gets him what he wants,
he would do. I would say this about toxic people. I understand what you're saying, but I would say a lot of the times we talk about these questions we're getting, and it is stuff where it's like, if I come out to my friend, I'll lose him. If I do this, I'll do that. You already lost them. You're gonna find those people who will be your friends, and be in love with the true you. And if you feel coming out to your friend is going to lose your friend, I understand that hurts. I was hurt earlier this week, but I also realized that there are so many more people who love who I am now. I bet you if I said I want to come out to Washington for Thanksgiving, you'd host me for.
Of course I would. Yeah, my house is your house. Yeah, of course.
Oh, why did I decide to go to North Carolina? I could have gone up.
Well, shit. I mean, honey, what are you doing now? Because like I kind of don't have plans. I was gonna I have some friends in San Francisco that I generally was thinking of going down to San Francisco. But I mean, I don't know what my situation is. I don't know what time I'm gonna have off for work. I'm starting a new job. But like, if you want to come out here to the West Coast, let's have Thanksgiving.
I don't know for Thanksgiving, but we'll definitely
setting offer.
Oh my God.
We can talk about this and not on the podcast. I might even edit this out. I might not, though, depending how funny the jokes get. But but yeah, I mean, getting back to it, that whole thing of it's like there was something like I want to even backtrack a little bit towards the regret part. Because it's like we touched on this. It's like if you come out, like everyone regrets not coming out earlier. I mean the only people that don't regret are the people that did come out when they were a kid, pre-puberty, because that's the right time to do it. Like that's the right time to start transitioning, to go on puberty blockers and be sure of it. And if you're sure of it, even that's like, that's a talking point because everyone's sure of it. Like the whole like detransitioning thing is such a myth. And I have met people that have detransitioned, but every single one of them did it because of pressure from their families.
Right.
Like no one ever did it because that's what they wanted. Like they always did it because like they were gonna die, or like they were under duress, like extreme duress, or their family was just like, so we'll let you back in our family if you do transition. And it's like and every time I've seen it, it fucking breaks my heart. Well, like there's this,
I feel like I think too, talking to that, and I know like didn't know we were going to talk about this. We should come more prepared. But like there was a study at an institute in Amsterdam where they studied all the people. It was like 4,000 people, and like 1 in every 1,000 detransitioned because they felt they had made a mistake. Everyone else who detransitioned was for what you were talking about. So we're talking about like, I'm bad at numbers. What is that, like
0.1%? It's 0.1%.
So
which is like a medical miracle, like because like the percentage of regrets from knee surgery is like 6%. Like if you get a new knee, the percentage of people that regret that is 6%. So that's 600 times the percentage of like the amount of people. Like that's insane. Like and that's considered really good. Like and so it's like that, like if because they always frame it like it's like, oh, like this many people regret it, so it's got to be bad. But like they never frame it as like, oh no, it has an over 99% like satisfaction rate, which is like there's no other procedure in all of medicine that has the success rate that transitioning does. That going like it's by far and away the highest success rate, like the highest approval rating of any medical procedure.
I like the idea.
Miles.
I like the idea that it's better than like a life-saving heart transplant. Like
it is. Like
6% of people are just like, man, I wish I was. We saved your life. You've got a new heart. You're just like, I wish I had dead.
I know, it sucks. I fucking hate it.
I hate this.
I hate this heart.
Well, that's what they get.
This goddamn monkey heart. God damn it, I hate it. Yeah. Stupid. Do you remember, like, do they still, like, I remember like a thing in like the late 80s, early 90s where they had like artificial hearts. Do they still have those?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm all about getting an artificial pussy, so I don't.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they had like artificial hearts like made out of plastic in like the 80s, and they look like a a play school toy. They have like bright colors and like it's just like it's a heart. Yeah. Like you don't need to like why would you put dyes in this? Yeah, like, but like they had like they were like, I remember seeing one and it was like bright green and bright blue and like had all these like little like, and it looked like a child's toy. Plus, and it was an artificial heart.
It's in your chest and no one's gonna see it. Just make it like,
I know,
whatever color plastic is.
Yeah, you don't. What you do is you add zero things that could possibly be rejected by a body.
Put as many possibly
but it was the late 80s, early 90s, and you know you had to have the primary colors going on. I mean, like that was what it was.
Purple in it, man. It's 1991. If your heart
it's like it has to look like a fucking Trapper Keeper, like.
The Heart by Lisa Frank.
Yeah. I got the Miami Vice edition.